crowd is going crazy for Israel. And why wouldn't they? Israel is young, Israel is brash, some even say arrogant. Israel has an arsenal of weapons that make Israel a vicious fighter. And Israel is flamboyant. I mean, just check out that blue head of hair.
But the question remains, Troy. Is Israel for real? His manager, Ted Herfel, has groomed him, and some claim has only put him in the ring with lesser opponents. And speaking of lesser competition, it's not looking good for punch-drunk McNougal. Israel has him up against the ropes. Can Israel Cordova finish him off? Well, there you have it, folks. Israel Cordova has done it again. In just 6 minutes, this fight is over.
Well, James, I don't know about you, but I am already looking forward to the next fight, which will be Israel's toughest challenge yet, against Jacob J.J. Judah. Now, Judah has been around for quite some time, but has never gotten the same recognition or hype as Israel. But he's been described as more than just a conqueror.
Well, Troy, in the coming weeks, I guess we will see which one of those two fighters is for real.
Everything all right, partner? No, Ak. It's my mom. She was in an accident.
I go on now. Every day, I see him problem in our city. Oh, Sister Carter. Everything alright, Sister?
Hi, Donovan. No, I was supposed to pick up Isaac and Danny from school, and I can't get a hold of Danny's parents.
It's alright. We can't pick them up.
Are you sure it won't be an inconvenience?
No worry yourself. Me have slow day today, so no problem.
You need to move your car right now, sir. Now, move it now.
Relax now, daughter. You can't see me a chat to Sister Carter. Sure. What go on, little youth?
Hey, Mr. D, how you do? Hey, what's happening, Mr. Donovan? Thanks for picking us up.
Not to worry, little Isaac. Your mother gonna be alright. So tell me how you wanna do with the schooling now.
We got our report cards last week, and I got straight A's. Yes, me too, Mr. Donovan. And we have the pin to prove it.
Irie, stick to your book. And don't be like Mr. Donovan, you hear?
Why do you say that, Mr. D?
Sad to tell you, Mr. Donovan is a high school dropout. no need no school. We did have big plans to start one limo company, but with no education, no business plan, and no business sense, I could have never get it started. So here I am with this lowly taxi. Me have to learn the hard way. If you fail to plan, then you must plan to fail. Oh look, this man flagging me. Let me pick him up and make a quick money.
Sure, no problem.
Hey, thanks. I'm heading to Chuckles Comedy Club. You know where it's at?
Yeah, man. No problem.
Take the Brooklyn Bridge. It'll be much faster.
No, sir. Williamsburg will be better.
Trust me, the Brooklyn Bridge will be quicker, less congested this time of day.
All right. Have it your way.
This is Eric Keeter with the Traffic Center. We have gridlock on the Brooklyn Bridge for Manhattan-bound lanes.
Mom, I'm hungry.
Butchie Pooh, what about those snacks I got you?
I already finished them all. I'm still hungry.
Butch, I hope you didn't leave a mess in the back seat like last time. You'll be cleaning it up when we get home, young man.
Sure. I'll start right now.
Butch, I hope you're not littering.
I perform every Thursday at Chuckles. The show is called The Wrath of Rathbone. Perhaps you've heard of it.
No, can't say I have, you know.
Excuse me, sir. Do I know you? You look familiar.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you two back there. The name is Rabbi Shlomo Rathbone.
Hold on. Did he say rat bomb?
That's right, yuck it up. I've been teased about it my entire life. The name is really supposed to be Rothbaum, but when my grandpa came from Germany, the folks set it aside and messed up the paperwork. Put an A instead of an O.
My apologies. I think I remember you. Don't you sometimes work with Pastor Bucks?
Oh yeah, Seymour, good buddy of mine. Even though we have our religious differences, he's a good guy. Every year he does a big benefit, and he gets money from his church and sends it to Israel. You too, you go to his church? Did I make a joke or something?
No disrespect, Mr. Shlomo. The reason we are laughing is because we aren't Christians. And even if we were, that would be the last church we would be going to.
So if you aren't Christians, what are you then?
We're Hebrews, followers of the Most High Yahuwah.
Hebrews? Really? So where's the kippah?
No, sir, we aren't Jewish either. We don't practice the religion of Judaism. We are Hebrews, and we strive to live a Torah-based lifestyle.
Torah-based lifestyle? That's rich. אתה מדבר עברית?
כאן, אני מדבר קצת עברית.
Is there a hidden camera in this cab or something? Am I on Taxi Cab Confessions? Where did you find this kid?
Hear this, Mr. Ratibum. He might be a little pitney, but him no kid. Kid is a baby goat. This young man is a true Hebrew warrior, and him bold like one lion.
So, Mr. Shlomo, what makes you so great?
Pardon me?
The title Rabbi, it means great one. So, I was just asking, what makes you so great?
Well, let's just say I use the title to mean teacher.
Teacher? A teacher is a more. Mem-wa resh he. Is that you call yourself? Danny's right, and our more is a more zadik, which is a teacher of righteousness. And he said to call no man rabbi.
Really? Why is that?
Well, I guess it's because he's the only one that deserves to be called a great one. He's the only one who is able to walk out the Torah to perfection.
Oh, I get it. You must be talking about Jesus.
No, actually, I'm talking about Yahushua.
Well, kid, I mean, young man, if you study the Torah, you would know no man can take on another person's sins. It's impossible.
Speaking of sin, please, Mr. Ratbatty, put your seatbelt. You think me have $100 for throw away?
Oh, I'm sorry. And the name is Rathball.
Well, first of all, Mr. Rathball, let me tell you that nothing is impossible for Yah. Second of all, in the Torah, in the book of Leviticus, or Wayikra, chapter 10, verse 17, we learn about the duties of the Kohanim. Those are the priests of Almighty Yah. Moshe had to remind his nephews, Eleazar and Ithamar, that it was the duty of the priests to bear the sins of the people. He said to them, "Why have you not eaten the sin offering in a set-apart place, since it is most set apart? And Elohim has given it to you to bear the wickedness of the congregation and to make atonement for them before Yahuwah." Third of all, since sin and death came into the world by one man, isn't it reasonable one man could defeat both sin and death? The Apostle Shaul puts it this way: "For as through the disobedience of one, many were made sinners, so also through the obedience of the one, many shall be made righteous."
Well, I don't know much about Rabbi Shaul. I follow the teachings of Rabbi Akiva, Rashi, Rabbi Meir, and Rabbi Bernstein in Crown Heights. How can you possibly expect to understand the Torah if you don't lean on the words of these wise sages? This is the whole purpose of the Talmud.
When writing to an assembly of new believers in Colossae, the Apostle Shaul warned them and said, "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after the Messiah." This is precisely what is wrong with Judaism. Judaism relies on the oral traditions of the elders, much like Christianity relies on the traditions of the church fathers. But Yahushua, my master teacher, and the only true rabbi, showed time and time again that his word had more authority than men's traditions, and he often had to correct the wrong traditions of the Pharisees. Look in Matthew or NehemiYAH chapter 5, verses 43 through 48. There, Yahushua was speaking to the crowd, and he said, "You heard that it was said, 'You shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy.' But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those cursing you, do good to those hating you, and pray for those insulting you and persecuting you, so that you become sons of your Father in the Shamayim, because he makes his sun rise on the wicked and on the good, and sends rain on the righteous and on the unrighteous. For if you love those loving you, what reward have you? Are the tax collectors not doing the same too? And if you greet your brothers only, what do you do more than others? Are the tax collectors not doing so too? Therefore, be perfect, as your Father in the Shamayim is perfect."
Hold on. Are you saying I put traditions before Torah?
Let me ask you, Mr. Shlomo, do you observe Rosh Hashanah?
Yes.
When do you observe it?
In September, like most people.
Well, you're putting your traditions before the Torah. Last I checked, Rosh Hashanah means the head or start of the new year. And according to Torah, the start of the year isn't in September. According to Yahuwah's Torah, the start of the year is in the springtime, when flowers are blooming and things are springing to life.
Only thing more contrary than a new year in the fall is having a new year in the middle of a dead winter. Oh boy, me body a freeze.
Danny's right. The rabbinic and Roman calendar are contrary to Yahuwah's Torah.
You guys sound like my son Eric. 2 years ago, he tells me he believes in Yeshua and the New Testament. I tried to show him that New Testament is false, but he wouldn't listen to me. So, I disowned him.
Are you kidding me? Did it ever occur to you that you could be wrong? Did you take the time to listen to your son?
Could you imagine the ridicule that I received from the board of rabbis? having to explain how I've raised my son in the traditions of Judaism only for him to turn around and become a Jew for Jesus.
There you go again, worrying about what others think and men's traditions. Have you ever taken the time to consider how the Most High feels about your decision? I know one thing. I nearly lost another parent today. I wish more than anything that I could have my father back in my life.
Hold on a little bit. Me notice your tassels, the zit them. Them all white. But according to Torah, them supposed to have a cord of blue.
Well, that I can explain. The blue dye of the zit was produced by a special sea creature that many think has become extinct.
Sure, never mind all that. Prophet Yahukanan expose on the people and him call you the synagogue of Satan.
What's he talking about?
You never hear about it? In the last book of the Bible, the book of Revelation, it talk about a group who say them are Jew and are not. Here is what it says. I know thy works and tribulations and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan.
You know what? I don't have time for this. I have to prepare for my routine. I'm going to be going on in a couple of hours.
Well, sorry if you say, sir, you're not going away right now, you know. So much for less congestion.
You know, I have come across the likes of you two before. Picture this. I'm in the city, minding my own business, and I get a message that my order at Burger Town is ready. And I come across these guys outside of Burger Town. They're dressed up like they're coming off the set of Pirates of the Caribbean or something. They had the chutzpah to call me a fake Jew. They said they were the real Jews, and I was going to be their slave in the new kingdom. What a bunch of schmucks.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. We're nothing like those guys, Mr. Shlomo. We believe the ancient Israelites were dark-skinned people. However, we don't preach a gospel of hate. Even though the ancient Hebrews were dark-skinned, today, to be considered a true Yahudi or Jew, you must be one inwardly.
Inwardly? That's rich.
Well, the Apostle Shaul put it this way in the book of Romans, chapter 2, verses 28 and 29. For he is not Yehudi who is outwardly, neither is circumcision that which is outward in the flesh. But a Yehudi is he who is inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart, in Ruach, not literally, whose praise is not from men, but from Elohim.
Last I checked, the rabbinic court decides who is a true Jew.
Didn't you pay attention? This is not about the praise of men. This is about pleasing Yahuwah, Elohim. And now, we have come to the heart of the matter. High cholesterol isn't the only thing that hardens the arteries of the heart. Sin has given each and every one on planet Earth a stony heart. Just as the apostle mentioned, we all need spiritual heart surgery. And Yahushua is the chief surgeon.
There you go, mentioning Paul again.
Well, you wouldn't disagree with King David, would you? He was essentially saying the same thing when he pleaded with Yahuwah to create in him a clean heart and renew a right spirit within him. The religion of Judaism is just another false way, no different from Christianity and Islam. But here's the good news, Mr. Shlomo. Once you allow the chief surgeon to change your heart, you can be grafted into true Yasharah.
Nonsense! I'm Abraham's seed. I'm quite alright.
Actually, you mentioned earlier that your family came from Germany, right?
Yes? So what?
Wanna go sailing?
Before me timber, my hand turn into hook.
Where are we?
Hayam Hashakar.
The Black Sea?
Yes, sir. Now check out this map. As you can see, it's divided by the sons of Noah. Ham, Shem, and Japheth. That's us on the Black Sea. Now when you trace the roots of most European Jews, we can clearly see that they do not descend from the line of Shem. They are from the line of Japheth or Japheth. And a descendant of Japheth was Ashkenaz. This is where we get the term Ashkenazi Jew. As you can see, Ashkenaz settled in the region of
Germany.
Bingo! When we study history, we learn about an ancient empire in Khazaria. The king of Khazaria converted both him and his subjects to the religion of Judaism. This is how the religion of Judaism spread to the descendants of Japheth and throughout Europe. Now, there was a prophecy in the first book of the Bible called Bereshit, or Genesis, chapter 9, verse 27. There it says, "Let Elohim enlarge Japheth, and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan become his servant." And that is precisely what we see happen through recorded history. In 1917, British statesman Arthur Balfour issued what is known as the Balfour Declaration. When writing to Lord Rothschild, he announced the British government's support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. British forces would occupy Palestine and establish the British Mandate, which made it possible for hundreds of thousands of European Jews to immigrate to Palestine. And just as the prophecy in Genesis told us, these sons of Japheth would dwell in the tents of Shem. Most of these European Jews were not bloodline descendants of Jacob. The history books tell us that the state of Israel was reborn in May 1948, but I'm here to tell you that what was really born was a satanic counterfeit. And the prophet Yahuchanan in the book of Revelation tells us that Jerusalem is now spiritually Sodom and Egypt. As believers in Yah, we are to look forward to the new Jerusalem, which is not of this earth. The true city of David will be coming from above. Another prophet, Yehezkel or Ezekiel, told us in Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 5. "Therefore, thus says the Master Yahuwah, have I not spoken in my burning jealousy against the rest of the Gentiles and against all Edom, who give my land to themselves as a possession, with all joy of heart, with scorn in their being, to drive it out for a prey?"
And don't forget the master teacher, Yahushua. He also prophesied and said, Jerusalem would be trodden down by the Gentile them.
Yes, that's true. But, Danny, I have a question for you. Who is steering this boat?
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. This ride's gonna get a little bumpy.
Most of the people in the land of Israel today are not the bloodline descendants of Jacob. But what's worse is many in the land and worldwide are part of this counterfeit religion known as Judaism. Most who practice Judaism don't follow the Torah. They follow the Talmud. The Talmud is a large collection of the writings of rabbis. These rabbis interpret the Torah and add their own philosophy and comment to Yah's word.
So, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? Seriously, Mr. Shlomo? Have you not been listening to a word I've been saying? Tell you what, let's look at some of the teachings from the Talmud. Did you know that the Talmud teaches in Moed Katan 17 that if a person is tempted to do evil, he should go into a city where he is not known, dress in black clothes, cover his head in black, and do what his heart desires? That is downright wickedness. And if it's got me hot under the collar, I can only imagine how Abba Yah feels about it. How about this in Pesakim 113? There, the quote-unquote wise rabbis teach that it is okay to hate your Gentile enemy. However, we know that Yahushua teaches us to love our enemies. Check this out in Hagigah 13. The Talmud teaches it is forbidden to teach Torah to the heathen. Only Hasatan would suggest something like this, because as we know, the Torah needs to be taught to the whole world, especially the Gentiles. In the middle of the Bible, in Psalm 118 verse 8, we are told not to put our trust in man. Our trust should be in Yahuwah. The Torah was inspired by Yahuwah Almighty, while the Talmud was inspired by lowly men. The whole Torah was neatly summed up by Yahushua.
The master teacher.
In the book of NehemiYAH, or Matthew, chapter 22, verses 36 through 40, we see that there was one who was learned in the Torah. And he challenged Yahushua and asked him, "Teacher, which is the greatest command in the Torah?" Yahushua said to him, "You shall love Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest command."
And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Oh, what really going up there, some man?
Hold on, I'll be right back.
No, Isaac, wait, Isaac. Oh boy, his mother go kill me now.
Gabby, have you heard the expression, laughing all the way to the bank? That describes me. After last night's revival, I'm laughing all the way to the bank. What the?
Listen, sir. I'm sorry that I hit your precious car.
No, you need to listen. Do you know who you're talking to, kid? This is Israel Cordova, one of the top welterweight boxers in the world.
Hey, hands off the car.
Oh, is that so? Well, he doesn't look that tough to me.
Okay, that's it. It's time to teach this fool a lesson.
Sir, I think you might want to think twice before engaging in a pugilistic exchange. Down here. Hi, Israel. The name's Isaac Carter. You might want to look around. I would say there are about 50 or so cell phone cameras recording you right now.
What do you want from me? It's a recession.
It would probably be in your best interest to go back into your car and avoid the negative publicity.
The kid's right, Israel. We don't need anything messing up your big fight. Come on, let's go.
I always knew you were a fraud.
Hey, what did you say?
What are you, deaf, Cordova? I said you are a big fraud.
Whoa! Ah!
Israel!
Ah! How in the world did you do that?
That doesn't matter. You're safe now. They'll send some air support to come and get you. I better get going.
Wait, hold on. Do you think I'm a fraud, Isaac?
Well, Israel, to be honest, my opinion really shouldn't matter all that much. We spend so much time worrying about what other people think. At the end of the day, we should really be concerned with what the Most High thinks of us.
To be honest, I can't tell you the last time I prayed. I've been so focused on boxing. I haven't been paying attention to much of anything else. A few days ago, I found out my manager has been stealing thousands of dollars from me. He doesn't know that I know. It seems everyone around me have been using me all along.
Well, maybe you need to try my manager. He's never let me down.
Wait, hold up. Do you box, little man?
Not quite, but I do fight the good fight.
Wow, you got quick hands. So who's this manager of yours?
His name is Yahushua, and he is a manager that will never leave you or forsake you.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Jesus, right?
No, I mean Yahushua. If you want a true relationship with the Savior, calling on his true name is a great place to start.
Well, I'm tired of fake relationships and being around people who are only interested in what they can get from me. I'm willing to give Yahushua a try.
Great. Well, let's talk to him right now.
Alright, almost got all my money. Oh no, not again!
Hey, what's happening, y'all?
Where did you go?
I just made a short visit to Israel.
Boy, if you ever do that again, you think me want your mother come kill me?
Speaking of Israel, Isaac boy, you miss out, so I asked Mr. Ratbaum.
The name's Rathbaum.
Yes, whatever. I asked him who is the suffering servant in the book of YeshaYahu, or Isaiah chapter 53. You know what him tell me? Him tell me it's Israel. Can you believe it?
Wait, hold up, really? Mr. Shlomo, do I need to remind you of what you said just about an hour ago?
No man can take on another person's sin. It's impossible.
So according to your logic, there's no way that the sinful children of Israel could bear the weight of the sins of all of humanity. But I'll tell you what, there is a special person who is more than just a man, who could bear that weight. And he came down in the likeness of sinful flesh. And according to the prophet YeshaYahu, or Isaiah, in chapter 53, he poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors. And he bore the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. And his name is
Yahushua, the one true Rabbi and Master Teacher.
You got it, Danny.
If my son couldn't convince me of this, Yahushua, or Yeshua, or whatever you want to call him, neither can you!
You're right, Mr. Shlomo. I can't convince you. Only the Holy Spirit can convict your heart. All I can tell you is that the same heart surgeon who gives us a clean heart, well, he's also a blood donor. And in the book of Ephesians chapter 1 verse 7, we are told, in him we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins, according to his riches and kindness. Don't you realize whose side you're on? If you reject Yahushua, you're rejecting life. If you reject him and refuse to become a part of true Israel, well then, the synagogue of Satan awaits, because you've made an eternal covenant with death. The scriptures warn us, there is a way that seems right to a man, but the end is the way of death.
Alright, good, the traffic clear up.
Yes, man! Finally!
Well, this has been really interesting. You guys take care.
Later, Mr. Ratbaum. And remember, one love for all your transportation needs.
Bye, Mr. Shlomo Rathbaum. It was nice talking with you.
Hey, Henry! What gives? Where is everybody?
Ah, shucks. Forgive me, Shlomo. I meant to call you. Listen, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but, people are so fickle. The crowd is getting tired of your act. I hate to say it, but I think it's time you try a different club.
Oh, okay.
Wait, hold on. Your number one fan, he made it out, though. He's in the restroom.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Your number one fan. You know who I'm talking about. He's only been to every show for the past 6 months.
Henry, I'm not kidding you. I have no idea who you're talking about.
Dad?
Eric? What are you doing here?
I was hoping to slip out before you got here. I've been coming to your shows. I usually hide out in the back. That's why I got these silly sunglasses and hat on. It was the only way I knew how to stay connected with you.
I wish more than anything that I could have my father back in my life.
Stupid, right?
No, not at all. I'm sorry, son. I shouldn't have shunned you. I raised you to be a strong and independent thinker. I gotta tell you, I had an interesting ride on the way here. I met 2 extraordinary boys. And they even had me thinking maybe, just maybe I need to take a second look at this New Testament.
Really?
Yes, really. Come on, sit down. We got some catching up to do.
Mom! I'm so glad you're okay.
I'm okay, son. The hand of the Most High was with me. He took an accident and turned it into an opportunity for me to witness to a young man about the love and forgiveness of Yahuwah. Donovan, thank you.
No worries, sister. Just doing what the Lord service. Your boys take care. Blessings.
This is why this is going to be one of the great fights, because now we're standing up. And who enabled us to stand up for our rights and fight, like Patrick Henry and the rest of them? As for what course others may take, I know not. But as for me, give me liberty or give me death. All right, now.
With all due respect, Mr. King, you've been speaking for the past 45 minutes or so. I think I speak for everyone in this room that we would like to hear from Israel now.
Sorry, folks, but there will be no fight. My whole career has been a fraud. I've been used and manipulated by greedy and evil men. But no more. I have a new manager. His name is Yahushua. And I hope you reporters are paying attention, because here's the good news. He has changed my life, and he can change your life too. Jacob Judah, you are the true champion in this room. You have beaten all the best boxers out there. Boxers who are much better than I am. But for the fight of your life, there's an enemy who wants to put you down for the count. Through Yahushua, you can truly be more than a conqueror.
Hi, I'm Maxine Jackson from the Ropes magazine. Israel, are you ever gonna box again?
These hands will no longer be used for boxing, but for building the kingdom of Yahuwah. Shalom.
One last question. What brought about this change of heart?
I recently met a new little friend who has a big heart. He reminded me that there's a much bigger and more important fight happening outside the ring. I'm ready for the battle. Are you?